But we've got one more thing to talk about unless you wanted any other thoughts on Ring of Honor.
I am good.
Okay, so we are now doing our top 5 for the week, and this is the top 5 moments of 2016, and I've got to say this one was really hard for me in a lot of ways because I really had to think about it. My number one was just immediately popped in my head, but this was a hard match, so or a hard list to come up with. Did you have any honorable mentions?
Yes, Seth Rollins coming back, and he comes back and he debuts and he drops Roman Reigns with the pedigree. Thought that was a pretty good moment.
Damn it, I forgot about that one.
Finn Balor beating Roman Reigns on Raw because it was so unexpected. It was like Roman Reigns was kind of in the doghouse. You didn't know how they were going through, but once he hits his move and then he gets the 3, Finn Balor goes over on Roman Reigns that night, and I thought that was an amazing moment.
Damn it. Forgot about that one.
All right. And then last one this is the most recent moment. It was Goldberg dominates Brock Lesnar. Because even though I did not like it myself, it was the shocking moment that had the world talking.
That is true. That's a good one. So those are all good honorable mentions. I have a few myself. My first one was Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa winning the NXT tag team titles at TakeOver Toronto. That the post match I thought was great. My next is Bobby Roode's entrances at both TakeOver Brooklyn and Toronto were just epic moments, I thought. And Nakamura's entrance at all 3 of the takeovers he was at, Dallas, Brooklyn, and Toronto. And then the most recent one, Broken Matt Hardy appearing at Ring of Honor's Final Battle. I
didn't experience that one, so I couldn't have been on my list.
That was crazy. So let's go on number 5. What is number 5 in your list?
All right. Honestly, 3, 4, and 5 can honestly be switched around. But I'm going to go with Sasha beating Charlotte the first time on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, the first time she beat her on Monday Night Raw. I think that was L.A. And it was just they main evented the show. It was a good match, and it was just a moment that it was like it was the culmination of all their hard work. Hey, you're ending a show. Tip hat to the women's division, and they did it, and it was very emotional, and Sasha was crying. It was a good moment.
Damn it. See, I forgot about that one too. Mm-hmm. This was one of those.
This is going to be a very personal list.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to be the ones that ring to you. It's not like overarching moments, but hey, they meant a lot to me. Like all mine were main roster. I don't have an NXT one on mine, but you of course prefer the NXT product, so you're probably going to have a lot more NXT moments than me.
Well, actually, yeah. Yes, well, NXT related. So my number 5 was the night after Wrestle Kingdom, and I forget what it's called. It's basically New Japan Pro Wrestling's Raw After Mania a night, and it was when Kenny Omega and the Bullet Club turned on AJ Styles.
That led to something. That was this year?
That was this year. That was in January.
Oh, wow. So big year for AJ Styles.
Big year for AJ Styles because they'd had a tag team match and they won, and Styles is standing on the middle rope celebrating, and Kenny Omega walked under him, put him in the one-winged angel, and the Young Bucks get in the ring and they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And Kenny was like, "This is where we're going," and they're like, "Okay," and so they beat down AJ. They do the whole combo Meltzer driver into the Styles Clash with the super kicks thing, and they leave AJ laying in the ring, and afterwards AJ gets up and he just looks like he can barely move, and he bows to the crowd, all 4 sides of the ring. He bows and he walks off and he gets this big "Thank you AJ" chants. The place is just going nuts. And it was in that was the moment where Kenny Omega got on the mic and said, "I'm not going back after the junior title. I'm not a junior. Shinsuke Nakamura, I want the Intercontinental title," which sent Kenny Omega onto his main event level push where he is now. And it was just so cool. And it's a really subtle thing that ties into another moment on my on my list, where the person who got beat down in this moment, when he makes his appearance later on in the month somewhere else, and he's still walking gingerly. And I don't know if that was done intentionally or not, but I thought that was nice. So that was my number 5. Number 4, what you got?
Shane McMahon, the night after WrestleMania. When he comes out, when his music hits, and he's limping to talk to Vince McMahon, I'm just saying, other than Enzo and Cass, I mean, that was the loudest moment of the night, and it was shaking. I didn't even think the crowd was going to react that way. I mean, I know that the fans love Shane McMahon, but like I said, the building was shaking. It was crazy. It was like the energy. I mean, my brother, who falls asleep at every snap, was wide awake and completely alert for that moment. It was just a monumental ovation.
That was cool. And a great thing about that, and something Shane did then after Survivor Series, is he was still selling his injuries from the night before. He's one of the few people that does that. And yeah, that was a cool moment. That was very cool. So for me, my number 4 came from the Cruiserweight Classic. It was the post-match Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa post-match, where they had their match. Johnny wins. Tommaso leaves the ring, stops, turns around, gets back in the ring. They sit in the ring, embrace, and he raises Johnny Gargano's hand. That was amazing, I thought. I choked up. It was so good. And that's a match you will, when we talk about matches of the year, our match of the year list in however many weeks, whenever we do that, we will discuss that one again. So love that. What's your number? Well, did you like that match?
I love that. And I thought it told a perfect story. That's especially how the match ended. It ended because Ciampa wouldn't go to that next level that he needed to go to, so it allowed Gargano to win the match.
Yep. So what is your number 3?
Charlotte versus Sasha versus Becky, WrestleMania match.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Those 3. The entrances were great, especially Sasha with Snoop Dogg. Charlotte debuted the robe that time, which was a part of her dad's robe, and reconfigured for her. Those 3 staring at the ring at each other. 3, as we know, really close friends. 3 of the 4 horsewomen are marquee. They're on the chair, they're on the shirt. Marquee matchup at WrestleMania. It was everything. They debuted the new belt. I mean, everything that had to do with that moment was just probably the number one moment in women's wrestling.
That was a great moment. I didn't think about that one either. But I loved like some of the behind the scenes stuff they showed with Sasha looking at the marquee, the poster on the outside of the building. They had the 3 of them front and center, and she starts just tearing up. That one. That is, though, when we talk about matches of the year, which my list is way too long, that we're going to talk about that one again. We
might just have to do a match of the year show.
We might, because I got a lot of ties on there. I had too many good matches. All right, so my number 3 is, and for the life of me, I can't remember which Raw or pay-per-view this happened on, but it was that real first John Cena, AJ Styles standoff, where you had the crowd losing their mind, going, "Let's go Cena, AJ Styles" chants. That just continued and continued, and they both just kind of stood there. And it was really before AJ went full-blown heel. I love that moment.
That was a great moment, and it sucks that it wasn't on my list.
We'll see. We both remember things that the other one forgot. There we
Yeah.
go. All right. What is your number 2?
This is not a number 2. It is a 1. I have 2 number 1s.
Okay.
They meant everything to me. Both of them. One I actually cried, and one pretty much gives me as close to crying as I'm ever going to get. So 1A, Kevin Owens wins the WWE title, or ends the Universal title. The setup was it was a fatal 4-way. It had Cass and everyone in it. I didn't think there was any way. I thought it would be Rollins or Reigns. I didn't think it would be any way Kevin Owens was coming out the title champion. That moment, that whole last minute where Triple H comes in and pedigrees Roman so Seth Rollins can get the win, and then pedigrees Rollins so Kevin Owens win, and kind of handing Kevin Owens the keys to the kingdom. That is amazing. That was an amazing moment. It was the culmination of me being a Kevin Owens fan. The times that I've met him, he's always been really nice. And then the ROH times where when he finally beat Generico and he packaged pile drive Maria, which some you'll never see in the WWE, but he was like the first moment I saw him, he became one of my favorite people. And that was the culmination of being a fan of his.
Very cool. Yeah, I should have thought about that one as well. That was a great moment. That was a really good match. That whole thing, because that was the post. Was that post Battleground, or was that post? No, that was post SummerSlam.
Yeah,
and that was the Raw after SummerSlam, and that whole show was really good. But that was a great match. That was.
It wasn't the Raw after SummerSlam. It was the week later.
Right.
They did the qualifying matches on the Raw after SummerSlam, and then a week later they did the actual match.
That's right. You're right.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. That was so good. That whole thing was really well done. And the great thing I thought about that was the fact that they did give it to Kevin Owens, and it was this whole it's not what everyone thinks it's going to be, and we do have faith in these new guys. That was very cool. So my number 2 moment is also from the Cruiserweight Classic. It's the Cedric Alexander post-match from when he lost to Kota Ibushi, which is one of my favorite matches of the year. And that moment was amazing. He leaves the ring. The crowd is chanting, "Thank you, Cedric," going just berserk for him. He's just standing there. He's got tears in his eyes, like, what did I do to deserve getting this kind of ovation? And then they started chanting, "Please sign Cedric," and like so loud and going nuts. And then Triple H walks out and gives the thumbs up to the crowd, basically saying, "Yes, we're signing him." And I just love that moment. That moment kills me. I've watched it a number of times, and right there, just an absolute star was born and solidified in that moment, I thought.
I am a huge Cedric Alexander fan. He's probably was my top indie guy after AJ left. I've been on him for a while, so that moment, everyone will know how much I love that match. And the moment with Triple H and, giving him kind of the seal of approval, like, okay, we can make this guy work, it was a really good moment.
All right. And your number 1B.
Number 1B, it was the most phenomenal moment of the year, is when AJ Styles, 20 years somewhat in this business, becomes the WWE World Champion.
Okay. See, now, the same gentleman is in my number 1 moment, but it's a different moment.
Yeah, no, it's when he actually won the title, because he comes in, and it's kind of how I'm expecting it's going to be. He's over, and they put him in a match with Jericho. He puts Jericho over. Put him in a match with Reigns. Puts Reigns over. Put him in another match with Reigns. Put Reigns over. And he just kept, I just like, dude, they're just going to make him this super high profile. He's the extreme version of Dolph Ziggler. He's just going to be used to put all these people over. And, the Dean Ambrose match, I did not know that how it was going to end. I thought they were pushing Dean Ambrose to the moon, and he was going to have a nice long title run. He kicks him in the Jimmy, Styles Clash, and it was everything that I thought it would be. Every emotion bubbled up. I just started, and it's funny. It's like a movie. I started getting flashes of all those different moments and shows that I've seen AJ Styles over the years. You know, the first time he beat Jeff Jarrett for the title, how he kind of took a demotion, and him and Christopher Daniels were the TNA tag belts, and then he was the X Division guy, and then his matches with Samoa Joe. All that, I felt like it wrapped up to that moment when AJ Styles, after betting on himself and losing the guaranteed money of TNA to travel around the world, you know, pretty much he's kind of doing what Cody Rhodes is doing now, and he built his star so bright that even the WWE couldn't dim it, and he's the world champion.
That was a great moment for me. It was AJ Styles' debut at the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
That was incredible. The whole thing. And his whole time in the Rumble, he was in the Rumble, I think, longer than anyone this year, 30 minutes. And I thought they were really smart in the way that they eliminated him by having someone as popular as Kevin Owens eliminate him. Because had Roman Reigns eliminated him, it would have just been... people would hate Roman Reigns till the day he dies, and then some, just for that alone. But yeah, Kevin Owens eliminating him, and then Dean Ambrose coming out, and then because the crowd at that point was like, okay, fuck you, we hate you. And then Ambrose came out, and then Sami Zayn came out, and it saved everything. And the crowd got back into it. But yeah, that when his music hit, just like we talked about debuts last week, and he came out, it was awesome. And you're right, that when he won the title, that was fantastic. And I think he, more than anyone else, I think he has benefited from the brand split, because I'm not sure, had they not split brands, if he would ever have become a WWE champion. But with the brand split, it's like there's zero reason for him not to be one of those champions. And he's been a fantastic world champion on SmackDown. He's carried that brand beautifully, and I hope he holds that belt for a very long time. Who knows?
He's undefeated in televised singles matches against John Cena.
Just wrap that around your head, folks.
Yes.
That is so cool. Now, does that mean by default, since James Ellsworth has beaten him 3 times, that James Ellsworth is better than John Cena?
Yes, that's exactly what it means. I'm going to use the broken logic, which means which unfortunately means Braun Strowman is the greatest wrestler ever.
Oh, sweet Jesus, man!
Because he beat James Ellsworth in like 12 seconds.
Oh no, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. All right, well that's our top 5 for this week. Do we have any ideas of which one we're going to do next week?
I mean, you know what? I picked the last 3. I want to see what you pick.
Oh man.
Just go off the top of your head. That's generally what I do.
Well, do we want to continue the 2016?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can say that would be positive.
All right, so we're in December. So we're going to talk shop here for a second, folks. I'm assuming on Christmas Day, which is a Sunday, we're not going to do a show. Because, it's Christmas and I've got kids opening presents and stuff. So We'll do a show, probably just that. If you're available Monday the 26th, we'll do our regular episode that Monday.
Absolutely.
So that means we've got the 2 more Sundays before that one, before Christmas, and we have 2 more for sure end of the year lists that we need to do, which are matches of the year and wrestlers of the year. So why don't we do matches of the year next
All right,
week?
let's do matches of the year.
All right.
You know what's awesome? It's because it might come off as a bad thing to some people, but it actually adds to the show that you are more of an NXT/indie fan. Your matches are going to probably be completely different than mine.
I like that. Yeah, it's a nice dynamic, because if we were just talking about the same thing and we liked all the same things always, it would get really boring. So next week we're going to do top 5 matches of 2016. I've already got my list done. It's been written for a little while now. So, oh yeah, it's going to be fun.